Do you want to watch a show about a regular middle school boy that gets summoned to another world to fulfill a destiny only to be casted out of society because he is thought to have no power, but in reality actually has the power of nullification itself and it's super overpowered? What? As you've probably guessed, that's not this story. The Executioner and Her Way of Life is a fun new spin on the isekai story. Kind of, I'm not really sure if it qualifies as isekai or not because she's from and still lives in her world. She's just killing the people who get isekai'd. In this fantasy world where she lives, it's taboo to summon people here as lost ones to this world because they have pure concepts with great power attached to their souls like time, chaos, nullification, things like that. Our MC Manu's job is to kill the lost ones where they have a chance to use their power because they can lose control very easily and this will cause great consequences to their world. Then she meets a lost one with the concept of time, and every time she kills her, the concept saves her by rewinding her life before she died. So she has to travel with her while trying to figure out how to kill her while continuing to do her duties as an executioner. Now this show moves fast, and I'm talking like Barry Allen fast. The first 5 episodes could have been its own season, and the same goes for the following 7. I think they're both great ideas for stories and seasons. They were just condensed so much I think it harmed the quality of the story that was being told. I think if they're given the appropriate amount of airing time for each of these stories, they would have been better off. They have some really great concepts and ideas for these stories within the show that I think are pretty unique. Like the time traveling lost one isn't what she seems. There's corruption in the upper rank authorities in this world, which isn't new, but the way they did it I thought was really enjoyable. And there's these things called the 4 human errors, which are huge cataclysms that happen in this world, and they have a fight dealing with one of them. Now obviously the time traveler would be an overarching story that would expand over many seasons while unraveling slowly, but the corrupt authorities could have been a season and the human error could have been a season. There's a lot of content here that I think is being untapped, and I understand not wanting to move too slow because you could lose the audience and the retention, but maybe make it like majority, like make the corrupt authorities like 9 episodes out of the 12 episode season, and then like within like the last 2 you kind of start to give a little bit of a hint of the human error story. That way it creates a cliffhanger and makes people want to come back and watch the second season, or makes them encourage the studios to produce the second season even. I don't see why more shows don't do this, because creating that cliffhanger, there's always going to be that group of people that want to know the story faster or just loved it so much they're going to pick up your book. Also, if you don't get renewed, then that cliffhanger can also drive additional people towards your book. But hey, I just make YouTube videos. I don't get paid to do that stuff, so I could just know nothing about it. Another thing I really liked about this show was it wasn't afraid to get gory and freaky with it. I feel like too many shows nowadays play it safe on that front and don't take enough risks with it. Like some shows can really benefit from having a step up from just some regular shonen, like the red streak down the face. Like just look at Chainsaw Man. Even though this is a really extreme case of gore, like look how well it worked out for them. As far as characters go, I'd say they have pretty basic designs, typical anime girl voluptuousness. That's a word. And the only person who really caught my eye was the princess, and that's because she's just barely wearing a top. So outside of that, it's just pretty basic stuff. The power system's a standard magic one. Each person has sets amount of magic that they can use, which varies between different people. You can learn to hone your skills and manipulate more precise movements in your magic and preserve magic longer and not blow through all your reserves. But there are like these magic wells below the earth and in the sky that you can manipulate, but you can't bring in your body. I don't know, it kind of confused me, but that's there too. Now, me calling the power system basic doesn't mean the fights are bad. They have their moments. They also have moments that make me very sad. Overall, for the review of The Executioner's Way of Life, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I really like the ideas for the story they have going on, the second part of the season particularly. They just seem rushed is all, and it takes away from the enjoyableness of the show. And then outside of that, it's kind of basic. I mean, they have their moments with the fight scenes, the gore is decent, and I mean, the princess is wearing a string that covers her boobs. But if you want a unique story take on isekai in a fantasy world that's a little gory and freaky, then I'd watch this show. But that's all I got for you today, guys. If you enjoyed, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out, and it means a lot, and I do appreciate it. Also, if you've seen the show, then let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.